What you see in the view here is a face mask I'm making for myself. I have a whole series of paintings on lips. When I was little, my mother gave me a lipstick. It's a long story. But I do paintings of just lips. And so a couple of people have asked me about the Yarka sauce crayons and a little bit more information about them. I am going to embroider these in red, probably. And one thing about the sauce crayons that you will notice in the colors, and white is also in here too, that these are professional drawing crayons. And they give you a range of colors that are going to give you, there are 10 colors in there. They're going to give you a few darks, 5 more or less neutral, and 1 white for a highlight. And it's more than neutral. It's also complementary, like the green works against the blue. The browns don't always, when they blend, you can still tell that they're there. They're not always compatible. It depends on how you use them. And it's a wonderful way to limit yourself to 10 colors and still do beautiful drawings. Portraits are beautiful done in that. You're going to see that my hands are very dry, which is a badge of honor because I'm washing my hands all the time. So what I did, I'm going to do the lips. In my mind, I know they're going to end up red, pink, maroon, something like that. And when you're using these, what you have to do is keep in your mind whatever way this is going to end up finished. So right now I have it sketched, and you can see that I added some white, and I've got some darks in there, and it gives an idea of just a pair of lips. But with the white, excuse me, the way I have the white in there, I can then start to use that as possibly a line direction for the stitches. So in my application, I'm not only drawing the subject, but I'm bringing in the idea that I'm going to be changing it or enhancing it with thread. Now, I drew most of that when the fabric was dry. Right now the fabric is soaking wet because these, I want to show you that these go on there wet or dry. And on muslin, they're not at all, if you are experienced with Yarka pastels that they used to make, they were fairly hard. These are hard, but the Yarka pastels were not at all like soft pastels. So these go on extremely well on fabric, on wet fabric. So now I'll show you how they do on paper. I just drew a pair, and on here, this is regular copy paper, and you can see how soft they really are by the amount of dust that's coming off of there. They're wonderful. They're just wonderful. And the very small color range of 10 actually makes you think about where you're going to put any color you put on there. I mean, you can look at it that you're limited, you only have 10 colors, but you can also look at it that you only have to have 10 colors. So you can see how that's going on there. They're a beautiful thing to work with. And then you can just smudge them a little if you want a more blended effect, you can use all the little tools for soft pastels. And then you can see how that doesn't have a lot of white highlights. It goes right down over it. I would almost say that everybody needs some of these in their back pocket. I forget how much they are. They might be $10 to $15 a box. But the blending is wonderful. So there's a pair, and you can use them on this. When I go over this with Fred, these are such professional pigments that I know this drawing is going to remain under there. It's not going to wash out. So in that case, and I do this a lot with portraits, I'll make, if I were going to do a face and a flesh tone, like a white flesh tone, I would do green undertones, and then the pinks of the flesh tone would work as a complementary color. This is the same thing. I'm going to have blue and green working against red and pink. So even though the second layer is going to be thread, this is going to be underneath, and it's going to remain in the fabric. And it's just going to add that little bit of pop to the embroidery. They're wonderful. Everybody should buy them.